Hey, welcome back to The Way I See It, a weekly commentary from someone who's been there, done that, experience over theory, perspective over outrage. You don't always have to agree, but you should listen. Today's episode is Are We Addicted to Outrage? You know, there's a phrase that I keep coming back to lately. I say it in the office, I say it everywhere. Everyone's angry, but no one's really listening. We live in an age where outrage feels like energy. It gets clicks, attention, validation. But what if outrage has become less about justice and more about addiction? The way I see it, we're not just witnessing a culture of outrage, we're living it. Is social media amplifying anger because outrage gets clicks and followers? Or is it simply exposing what's always been there? Outrage is provocative, but it's also universal. We all feel it, politically, socially, sometimes even as entertainment. Now, I'm not judging this, I'm observing it. I'm like holding a mirror up to society, because I watch it too. And most of it feels, well, exaggerated, performative. And the real stuff, the real honest anger, I find frightening. Outrage has become the new national pastime, and everyone's playing. It's not hard to see how we got here. Social media rewards reaction. The stronger the emotion, the more engagement. And engagement is money. We've built entire platforms designed to keep us, emotionally triggered. I guess it's because calm people, like myself, we don't scroll. Calm people don't comment. Calm people log off. The business model of outrage is quite simple. Keep people angry long enough that they confuse stimulation for purpose. Yeah, let that one land. The more polarized we get, the more profitable we become. Algorithms don't reward reason, they reward emotion. Not because emotion is right, but because emotion keeps us all scrolling. We're not as divided as we think. We're just louder when we disagree. Calm voices don't go viral, but they do change minds. So let me ask you this. When was the last time you changed your opinion because someone shouted at you? Why do we take the bait? The way I see it, outrage offers something powerful in a world where many people feel powerless. It delivers a quick rush, clarity, belonging, and maybe even a little righteousness. You pick a side, you fire off a comment, and for a very brief moment, you feel seen. But underneath that feeling, not much really changes. We rarely resolve problems through outrage. We recycle them. And slowly we begin to crave that next hit of moral adrenaline. And that, to me, is the danger. Outrage feels like action, but it's really just a reaction. So what's the human cost? Outrage doesn't stay online. It shapes how we talk, how we vote, even how we see one another. Families fracture over politics. Hell, look at the US. Friendships end because of a single post. Entire communities, they define themselves by what they're against instead of what they're for. The louder we get, the less we understand. And maybe that's the real cost. Not the arguments themselves, but the absence of listening. When everyone's shouting, truth sounds like silence. I'm a pretty calm guy. The way I see it, calm isn't weakness, it's control. Can we learn to reclaim the calm? When you stay calm in a storm of outrage, you're not indifferent, you're intentional. It's easy to react. It takes strength to reflect. We don't have to agree on everything, but we do have to learn how to disagree without destroying each other. And that's just not emotional intelligence, that's leadership. So maybe the real rebellion today isn't outrage at all. Maybe it's composure. The way I see it, outrage may get attention, but calm earns respect. You know, if we can learn to pause before we post, to listen before we label, we might just find our way back to reason. Anyway, thanks for listening to The Way I See It. If this episode, if it challenged your perspective, that's good. That's what this show is intended for. That's why I started it. Share with someone who values conversation over confrontation. Until the next time, stay thoughtful, stay steady, and stay free from the noise. Enjoy the holidays, everyone. I'm Michael Baumler. I'm out.